Today, I want to go to one of my, what I call go-to verses. And I believe every believer needs a list of go-to verses because life has a way of driving you back to those verses, and they always do what they need to do in your life. And Isaiah 43 and 2 is just one of my go-to verses. And I believe that today God has led me to this particular verse, not just for my benefit, but there are people on this call today who need to hear Isaiah 43 and 2 again. And that verse says, "When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee." Again, Isaiah 43 and 2. I want to title this devotional Waymaker. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. Waymaker. I just want to point out three things in this particular verse, and then I'm going to pray. The verse points out first the problem that we encounter. When thou passest through the waters. In that statement, we see the fact that God never promised a trouble-free life. Waters, rivers, and fires are part of the journey that we're on as believers. We're going to face waters, we're going to face rivers, we're going to face fire. So the text assumes that difficulties will come. And faith is not the absence of problems. It is confidence in God during the problems. When thou passest through the waters, not if, but when. We need to remember that every believer faces waters, families face waters, we face fire, we face trouble, and that trouble is not evidence of God's absence. Just because you're in the river does not mean God is absent. So we have to stop asking ourselves when we are passing through the waters. Don't ask, why am I here? Ask, what is God teaching me here? So the verse reveals the problems that we encounter when thou passes through the waters. But in addition to the problem that we encounter, there is a presence that we experience. Notice the verse. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. I will be with thee. The presence that we experience. Now, that's the greatest promise in the passage. It's not that the passage promises deliverance, it promises presence. And when presence is there, deliverance, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. When he is present, we can endure whatever we are having to endure. Before God promised that the waters would not overflow them, he promised that he would be with them. So throughout scripture, God's answer to impossible situations was often his presence. And if you're feeling like you're facing something that's impossible right now, just be assured and know that his presence is what will get you through whatever you're having to go through. I mean, he's always demonstrated his presence when people face situations. Moses had the burning bush. Joshua had the captain of the Lord's host. Daniel had an angel in a den of lions, and you've heard me talk about it many times, where the Hebrew boys had the fourth man to show up in the fire. The waymaker does not merely create paths out of situations, he walks the path with us. His presence is there. Wherever you are right now, you got up this morning early enough to get on this call. And where you are right now, please know that God has not abandoned. His presence is with you. And when you cannot see God's hand, trust his heart. His presence is often the proof that he's already making a way. He's the way maker. So again, the verse demonstrates and shows the problem that we encounter, the presence that we experience, and then lastly, there is the protection that we enjoy. Read the verse. They shall not overflow thee, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. That's the protection. He did not say that there would not be waters of fire or rivers. He promised that they would not have the final word. The waters may touch you, but they will not drown you. The fire may surround you, but it will not destroy you. The trial may shake you, but it will not defeat you. Know for a fact, God places limits on what trouble can do to his people. He does not say that trouble cannot come, but he is the one that controls how much trouble can do to us. What you're going through may be painful, but it is not permanent. And the same God who brought you into it has prepared a way through it. He's the way maker. So he does not always remove the problem, but his promise, his presence is right there in the midst of the problem. And his protection is there. The waters may rise, the rivers may rage, the fires may burn, but when God is making the way, you will come out on the other side. Trust the way maker. Trust the way maker. Trust the way maker. His name is Jesus. Trust him. This ain't the first time you've had to have God make a way, and he'll make a way again. He's not slacking his promises. Whatever God has said, he will do. And today he says, when you passes through the waters, I will be with thee. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. Trust the waymaker.